The Twins win the series over the Blue Jays in Toronto. I'm surprised. I'm impressed. I'm with you to talk about it on today's episode of Locked On Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to the Locked On Minnesota Twins podcast. Today is Sunday, June 5th, and I'm your gracious host, Nash Walker. Thank you for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Again, this is Nash Walker. Been writing at Twins Daily for over 2 years. Been hosting this podcast for over 2 years. This is season 4 at Twins Daily. This is season 3 as host of the podcast. And I'm surprised and I'm impressed by the Minnesota Twins. A great weekend series. They get popped Saturday by Jose Barrios, but they come back Sunday, jump on Kevin Gausman, and they win this series over Toronto without Carlos Correa, without Sonny Gray, without Joe Ryan, without Max Kepler, without Emilio Pagan, without Josh Winder. The list goes on and on and on and on, and they still won this series. So we're, of course, going to talk about that today, talk about Joe Ryan, Carlos Correa's hopeful returns, pulling Devin Smeltzer in Sunday's game when I thought of that decision. Griffin Jax, Jorge Alcala is on the comeback trail. Luis Arraez is leading the big leagues in average, leading the big leagues in on-base percentage in a huge way in on-base percentage. Jermaine Palacios, and then depth production, including Palacios with Miranda, with Gordon. So we'll talk about all of those things today. Let's start with Luis Arraez. Luis Arraez, 4 hits and a walk today. Gets it going for the Twins at the top of the order. I think Luis Arraez has to lead off for the Twins for the foreseeable future. I think he just has to. I mean, he's leading all of baseball in batting average. He's leading all of baseball in on-base percentage by a healthy margin. He's been incredible. And something I think it opens up for me is when you go Luis Arraez, Byron Buxton. I've mentioned this before, but I think it's true. When Buck's right, when you go from Luis Arraez to Byron Buxton, you go from a slap-hitting lefty who doesn't strike out, doesn't swing and miss, draws walks, get on base, has a bunch of hits all over the field, to Byron Buxton, a right-handed, pull-heavy slugger who swings and misses a lot, strikes out a lot, not going to walk very much, monstrous power. Great defender compared to Luis Arraez. I don't really know where he's going to play defense. He's been playing first base and a pretty solid first base. But how about that juxtaposition of those two, 1 and 2? I would go Arraez, Buxton, Polanco, Correa, or Arraez, Buxton, Correa, Polanco when Carlos comes back. Hopefully that's very soon. But man, Luis Arraez, he's having his best season yet. And I was thinking tonight, as we get into June and we get closer to the All-Star break in the middle of July, who's like a clear-cut all-star on the Twins right now? The Twins are in first place. They're 32 and 24, but who's a clear-cut all-star for them? I think Luis Arraez is the answer to that question. Byron Buxton was amazing in April, not so much in May. He'll probably make the all-star game because he's starting to get right and he'll get voted in. And hopefully it's a no-brainer at that time. But who else other than Luis Arraez? He's been incredible. So fun to watch and fun for everybody. I think, Nick Nelson wrote this and I agree with him. Luis Arraez he draws in any type of fan. The new school fan who values on base percentage over batting average, Luis Arraez has that. The old school fan who doesn't like the swing and miss as much, values batting average as a statistic they can use that, viably measures a hitter. Luis Arraez has that. So he satisfies both, old school and new school fans. It's just impossible not to love him. The energy he brings, the bat, the at-bats, the professionalism, the bat speed, everything about Luis Arraez is so fun. And he's just been so dialed in and such an important part of this team and of this lineup. When he's missing, you can maybe feel it more than anybody else outside of Byron Buxton because what he does is so unique, his skill set to like anybody in baseball. It's incredibly unique. It's incredibly special. And it's extremely, extremely fun to watch Luis Arraez. Jermaine Palacios, how about the defense? Jermaine starts a key double play to get Devin Smeltzer out of a jam. I think it was in the first inning as well. Devin got in an early jam. George Springer homered to lead off the game, then a couple walks. Thought this thing was going to unravel after the Twins handed Smeltzer a 3-0 lead. Palacios turns a great double play. Had a blunder yesterday, made up for it today with some great defensive plays. And I think he's an example. When you look at this Twins farm system, and I cover this system a lot, and if you've been listening to this podcast, you know that we have Prospect Fridays. We'll try to get back this Friday for a Prospect Friday. I know everybody's waiting for that. The strength of the Twins system is not at the top. While I think Royce Lewis is going to be a good major league player, and that was evident when he came up, why, Jordan Balzovic has struggled, but I still think he's going to be an effective major league pitcher. Austin Martin, power problems, still think he'll be a good major league player. The strength in this system is not there. The strength in this system is the depth. Jermaine Palacios just sitting down there as a third string shortstop who plays a great shortstop. The Twins separate themselves from other farm systems, and I'm not saying they have a top 10 even farm system in baseball. I think it's probably top 12 to top 15, and sites would agree with that. I think generally what separates them is their depth in that system to be able to call up Jermaine and stick him at shortstop and trust that he's going to play a good shortstop. He drove in a run today early in this game. He's a good at bat. He doesn't look overwhelmed. That's special, and that's important. And we've discussed this before. The importance of not only Correa and Buxton and Arraez and Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray, the importance of Jermaine Palacios, the importance of Devin Smeltzer, the importance of Nick Gordon and Jose Miranda and how they contribute to winning, and how so many times it's up to these guys in big spots. How do they come through? And a majority of this year, the Twins' depth has come through. Let's talk more about that depth production. Gilberto Celestino back in the lineup today. He was outstanding. We'll talk about all of that after this word from Athletic Greens. Our next partner is lifestyle friendly. Whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free, Athletic Greens contains less than 1 gram of sugar with no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial anything, while still tasting good. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things. AG1 does it all. Plus, right now, to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB network. That's athleticgreens.com/MLB network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. We have an important favor to ask you. We've put together a survey so we can learn more about listeners like you and make your favorite Locked On podcast even better. This is your opportunity to tell us what you like and don't like about Locked On Podcasts. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey right now to get started. It won't take very long, and everyone that completes the survey can qualify for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Ticketmaster gift cards. To take our audience survey, go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey. Thanks for your help. So Twins depth, Gilberto Celestino, Nick Gordon had a hell of a road trip. If I had to hand out one MVP award of this road trip, it would go Gordon, Smeltzer, 1 and 2. Those would be my 1 and 2. And Arraez probably 3. Louis could be number 1, but I would go Nick Gordon, Devin Smeltzer, Luis Arraez, maybe Smeltzer and Arraez are flipped. I would definitely give the first place to Nick Gordon. He played extremely well in Detroit, gave the Twins a chance to win a game they blew, played extremely well in this series. Nick Gordon, he's doing it off the bench, and he's streaky. He'll go through streaks where he's very good at the plate, when he's lining the ball over the field. He's always playing good defense in the outfield, which you think back to a year ago right now, the Twins were just sticking him out in center field and hoping that he would play well there. He's played really well in center. He's played really well in left. Nick Gordon has played good defense in the grass for the Twins, and they've become a great outfield defense no matter who's out there, because it's either Celestino or Gordon in left or Larnach, and they've all been very good. Byron Buxton or Celestino or Gordon in center. They've all been very good. In right field, it's Larnach or Kepler. Both have been very good defensively, and Kepler has a history of being good defensively. Larnach has showed up this year as a great defender. They've become a great outfield defense because of their depth. And of course, because they have the best center fielder in the world and one of the best defensive center fielders, I think, of all time in Byron Buxton. It's a special group. The depth is special. It's been fun to watch out there. I think in the bullpen, Griffin Jax today was outstanding. And Rocco Baldelli pulls Devin Smeltzer after 4 innings. I predicted it would happen on Twitter. I tweeted it out before. I got ahead of it. I predicted it. I thought they'd go to Jackson the 5th. He goes to Cotton in the 5th. Cotton has a clean 5th. Jax pitches the 6th. Joe Smith goes for the 7th. Duran pitches the 8th. I think Duran would have gone for the 9th if not taking that liner off his knee. He's okay, it sounds like, but he's got a knee contusion. I think his next pitch or pitch after was 103 on the radar. Seemed okay. Griffin Jax, we've talked a lot about the emergence last year, the slider, and now he's consistently 96, 97. When Jorge Alcala comes back, he was hitting the upper 90s on his rehab stint for the Mighty Muscles, the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles. When he comes back, the Twins will have 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 right-handed relievers who are 96, 97, in Alcala's case, 98, 99, in Duran's case, 100, 101, 102, 103, but 97 plus with hammer breaking balls, all 3 of them, Alcala, Duran, Jax, and each of them have their flaws. Every pitcher does. For Alcala, it's command. For Duran, it's health. Is he going to remain healthy? For Griffin Jax, this is his first year in the bullpen, and also some command. Somehow, he's a mix. But they will have 3 right-handed relievers who all throw hard, 96, 97, 98, upwards, with hammer breaking balls. And I think that's important in this division, in this league, and for the playoffs. And I still think the Twins are a bullpen arm short with Alcala. But if he takes that next step and he's the pitcher he was in the second half last year, which is a dominant reliever. He has a sub-2 ERA in the second half last year. Might have been even better than that. If he's that pitcher, might have been down the stretch like the last month and a half. If he's that pitcher, and you have Duran and you have Jax, who continues to get better and add ticks to his fastball, you have a great 3-headed monster there. And then you have Joe Smith for some depth. Here's an example of what the Twins could do. Let's say they get a lead after 5, or let's say they have a lead after 5 and their starter goes 5. Chris Archer goes 5 and they lead by a run. You go Griffin Jackson the 6th, Jorge Alcala in the 7th. You go Yohan Duran 8-9. Or you go Joe Smith in the 6th, Jorge Alcala in the 7th, Griffin Jackson the 8th, Yohan Duran for the 9th. Gives you options, and that's why Jorge Alcala's return is so important. Also, obviously important, Joe Ryan, Carlos Correa. Let's talk about them. We'll also preview the Yankees series and look at the spreadsheet. Yeah, after this word from betonline.net. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all of the latest sports developments, news, and odds, including this year's basketball championship matchup. The Warriors tied it up tonight against the Celtics. They were at home at Oracle. They tied it up. The NHL Hockey Conference Finals, Major League Baseball, and of course, all the latest fighting news from MMA and UFC, all the way to boxing. BetOnline.net is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline is where the game starts. When I use BetOnline, I know that the platform's so easy to use. I can get my bets in quickly. I can jump right on the site on my phone. I can jump on the site on my computer if I want a bigger screen to look at. I know there are a ton of props to choose from. It's super fun. Go to betonline.net. It is where the game starts. You can use your mobile device or you can use your desktop. Joe Ryan, Carlos Correa. It's great the Twins won in Toronto. They took 2 out of 3. I maybe overreacted after the Detroit series. Maybe not. I felt like they were going to go in this weekend and struggle and have trouble beating Toronto with Chichi Gonzalez, Dylan Bundy, and Devin Smeltzer as their 3 probable starters. That's baseball, baby. It's why we love this game. The Twins instead take 2 out of 3. It's great they did that. Now you have the Yankees, and you can only sustain this for so long without Carlos Correa, without Joe Ryan, without Sonny Gray. Like, as great as the depth has been, you're not going to match up well with the Yankees. You're probably not going to match up super well with the Rays if you don't have those guys back, although the Rays are missing Franco and Lau right now. But they need Correa and Ryan back, and it sounds like Ryan is a little bit behind Correa in the COVID trail. I would expect to see Correa first, and I would expect to see Correa hopefully for the start of the Tampa series, and then Joe Ryan at some point as well, probably going to make a rehab start, and then maybe join the team in Seattle and start the opener in Seattle after this week. But that's putting like a very, I think that's maybe a longer timeline than what we could see or what is probable for those two. Hopefully Correa's back even sooner. Here's the spreadsheet. Yankees for 3, Rays for 3, Mariners for 3. Twins start off June, a game ahead of my projection. And on the season, they are 2 games ahead of my 90-game projection for them. So they have the Yankees. I have the Yankees taking 2 out of 3. I think if you're the Twins this week, it's pretty simple to me. They're going to see Jameson Taillon Tuesday. They're going to see Nestor Cortez Wednesday, Garrett Cole Thursday. All 3 have been outstanding, especially Cortez, especially Cole. Even Taillon has been very good. Almost went perfect against the Tigers, I believe, his last time out. It's going to be tough. And it's Dylan Bundy, Chris Archer, and to be determined. Not in that order. That's the 3. Those are the 3 probable starters for the Twins. Your goal for this week is, if you have Correa back on the weekend, which I expect for the weekend series, you have Joe Ryan maybe for one of those starts, maybe Sunday start. The goal this week should be 3-3 in 6 home games against the Yankees and Rays. The Rays are a little beaten down right now. They don't have Franco. They don't have Lau. Those are their 2 best hitters. Randy Arozarena is still there. They still present challenges in their lineup. But the White Sox just went to the Trop and beat them 2 out of 3. And the White Sox had some clutch hits and jumped on Ryan Yarbrough today, who I think the Twins will see this weekend. They can beat Tampa 2 out of 3. That would be my expectation, especially if Franco and Lau are out, to beat Tampa 2 out of 3. And that's what I predicted on the spreadsheet preseason. The goal is 3-3. If you go 2-4, that's probably about what's expected. And if you go 2-4, you get out of this thing at 34-28, and then you have Seattle, Arizona, Cleveland, Colorado, Cleveland to finish out June. So, I don't think the Twins are going to be below 500 getting out of June, or maybe even a couple games within 500 because the schedule gets lighter again after this week. Tampa's not as tough as they would be normally. And I'm saying this now on Sunday night. Franco could be back. Lau is not going to be back, but Franco could be back, and that might change things a little bit because he's that special of a player on both sides of the ball, Wander Franco. Right now, as it stands, I expect them to take 2 out of 3 from Tampa at Target Field. I expect the Yankees to take at least 2 out of 3. I think if the Twins win one of the 3, that would be fine. That's contingent on them taking the series from the Rays. I would be disappointed with 2-4 because that means you probably either got swept by the Yankees or you lost both series. And I don't think they should lose the series to the Rays. I mean, they might. I just think that's a series they should win. The Yankees series, try to take 1. Try to take game 1. Look what happened when they took game 1 from Toronto. It just opens up possibilities. They got blown out in game 2, but they had 2 opportunities to win. And in baseball, give yourself as many chances as possible. You never know what's going to happen. They ended up winning the series. So Yankees for 3, Tampa for 3 this week. The Twins right now, they're bouncing around from I'm skeptical to this looks like a good team to I'm skeptical again to I'm scared to I'm frustrated. And guess what? This is what it is. There are highs. There are lows. This is baseball. This is 162. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. And there will be many, many more for the Twins. We're just getting started here in June. Central, White Sox won today. Cleveland won today. Twins won today. So things kind of stayed even up. Twins are up 4.5 on Cleveland. They're up 5 on the White Sox. The White Sox will play the Dodgers in Chicago this week to start off. I don't know who Cleveland's got. Frankly, I'm not scared of Cleveland at all. So I don't even really follow Cleveland a ton. I'm just was following them this weekend because there was a chance they could overtake the Twins in first place, but I don't expect that they would stay there. The White Sox are clearly still the threat for the Twins, and I think will be the threat for the rest of the season. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On MLB podcast. MLB expert Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, and unique perspective on every team and the biggest storylines around the league. Follow the #1 daily league-wide podcast, Locked On MLB, on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast. Thanks again for listening. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Tell your friends about Locked On Twins. Tell them to subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000. So help me reach my goal. I'll continue to be here. all week, all year long. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day, and go Twins.